Hi everyone, I'm JD from Willowbound Journals. Welcome to part 3 of this journal making series where you can follow along and make the same journal that I'm making. Part 1 we made the cover. Part 2 we prepared our feature pages using this beautiful printable kit I put together from this gorgeous antique book, The Spirit of Flowers. So now that we have our cover and our pages, we don't need any more of this kit. So you're going to have lots of leftover pages so you can make many more journals out of this one kit. I will be making a second journal once I've done this one over on my Patreon showing how I use this. But you can go ahead and make more journals like this at the same time if you want, and do them in bulk. But yeah, if you want to just follow along with one journal at a time, let's get to the next part where we are going to prepare our other writing pages, blank pages, novelty pages, that kind of thing. I've already done a video sharing the materials that you'll need, so if you want to use the same papers that I'm using, you can definitely do that. But if you don't have what I have, or you don't like what I have, you can do whatever papers you want. Basically, I'm using my favorite types of pages, which are vintage ledger pages and coffee dyed papers, plus some novelty ones, for example, a coffee dyed envelope with a window, something nice for interactivity. And I also have a piece of tracing paper. You can use vellum, but I just like having something that is a bit transparent, translucent to see through. So what I'm doing is folding it over and then trimming off the excess. I keep all of these because these make wonderful pockets because you can see through them. It's great. So this is my method for cutting them out. Again, if you have a paper trimmer, you can definitely use a paper trimmer, but I find it quite therapeutic and enjoyable to do the pen and ruler method. So I'll go through how I cut them, how I fold them, how I make different interesting pages, interactive pages, all that kind of thing. But just want to show you the novelty pages first. Whoops, novelty pages first. I've only got a couple. I will show you the pocket pages next for what I call novelty pages. So what we're going to do, we're going to fold, oh, this is just like an A4 copy paper, coffee dyed. Now I'm just going to fold up one edge here. Okay, I'm just realizing I haven't folded it far enough. Usually for my paper bag journals or other book journals, it's not as short as this cover, so I would fold it up higher for this journal. So all I do is fold it up. Now I'm going to fold it across to make a pocket. And I'm going to fold it a little bit in because I want it to be a little bit shorter, smaller than the rest of my feature pages, just to make it stand out, just to give it that junctional variety. I'm going to trim up along here, and then I want to trim it just a little bit shorter. The other pages I'm going to trim higher, but this one just a little bit shorter to make a little bit of point of difference. Okay, let me try that again, showing you without having to cut off the top to make a pocket page. So this one, I want to fold it up, and I'm just going to bring it down here so I can see that this edge. So I'm going to fold it up to here. Now it's a deeper pocket. You're going to be able to fit in something much bigger in there to be able to see that edge. Whereas this one, it's a shallower pocket. Now this time, I folded this one going this way, so the pocket's on the inside. This time I'm going to fold it the other way so we can have a pocket on the outside. And again, this is just a way to give variety, so every time you turn a page in the journal, you're getting a different look. So between these 3 pages, they're all pocket pages, but they're all a little bit different. Actually, that's quite fun because this one is a shallow pocket, this is a deep pocket. You know, it just gives a bit of difference as you're flipping through. All right, next. I guess I'm doing all the blank pages first. Let me show you, if you want to do like a side pocket, what you can do. Okay, wait, hang on, let's see what I do first. I'm going to fold this here. and I'm going to do it a little bit narrower. So to there, and then I've got this excess here. So I'm going to fold that excess in like this. Now, this could either be a pocket. Let me just trim that off to show you this. So this time I'm going to do it full size. So I'm going to go all the way to the top. Some people like doing their pages flush with the edges of the cover. I like making mine a bit in, just because I feel like they're a bit more protected that way. It's a bit tidier, that kind of thing. If you're doing a grungy journal, it kind of looks cool having it out. But yeah, so a bit in from all the edges. This one I'm making a bit narrower because I definitely don't want to cut off this area here if the pages are sticking out further once you bind them in. So I definitely want that flap there. Now, you've got options here. You could either glue or sew this shut or tape it shut, and you have a pocket in here, like that. A beautiful large pocket page. Now, you don't have to sew it shut or close it shut, though. You could leave it like a little flip, which is quite fun. You could even flip it on the other side, fold it the other way for something a bit different. So there's another way you can do that. Now I'll show you this side. So what I'm going to do is, okay, let me think. All right, let me grab a different piece of paper. That's not going to work for that one. All right, here, plain piece of paper. So if I want to fold this flap on this side, I mean, I could always just do this the other way, but I'm going to fold it here. I can see that is inside a little bit. Now, for this side, I'm going to fold it about here. Now, another idea is you could literally just fold it all the way in. How about we just do that? So I don't want to fold it flush there because it kind of catches. So I'm just going to fold it a little bit with a gap, and that way you have this fold out here. Now, I like having one fold out on this side of the signature and one on this side. Again, just for that bit of difference. So you can play around with how far you fold in the page. And you can play around with, do you want to have it as a pocket or do you want to leave it as a flip out? Totally up to you. So this gives you what appears to be a narrow page on this side, but ta-da, secret journaling space and a thicker page or a wider page on this side. So make a couple pages like that. That's your next task. Now we do want some that are just going to be full size. Like these are my favorite types of pages. It's just full size pages. So I'm going to come in here, and I know this will be my very first page actually. So I'm going to fold that quite close to this edge because this will either be my first or second page. So I'm going to trim that edge off, and then I'm going to trim off the top like this. Now I want another one, I believe. Let's go this side. This time I'm just going to fold it a little bit further in from this edge because this is going to be bound in near the middle of the journal. So I'm going to trim that edge, and we're going to trim the top again. Okay, here we go. Done. So let's move away from the plain pages for now, and I'm just going to move on to the ledger pages. All right, so this one, perfect. Almost doesn't need to be trimmed. Now, I could absolutely leave it, but I just want to protect these pages a little bit, especially if they're brittle and fragile. I just want that to be a bit in. So there's that one. I've got this one here, which I can literally just fold in half. These are the best pages. Don't have to trim them down, don't have to measure, don't have to cut. Got another one here. All right, now I've got this one. So I'm going to fold this over, and same thing, I'm just going to line it up to be along that inner edge. This one I can fold all the way to these holes, and then I want to trim at this line here because I can see that. I can see which line I want that there. Beautiful. Right, this one is a nice short page as well. I'm just going to come along down here and fold this one like this. Because it's a shorter page, I might want this to come in a bit just to have it be noticeably short. And then I'm just going to trim along the top. All right, now this great little scrap piece can either be some journaling space in my own personal journaling, or for collage, or to tuck into a pocket as a journaling card. All right, now I've got these pages here, and I want one to go horizontal and one to go full size. So this one I'm going to make go this way, because I want the full size, as opposed to this one going this way. So we just have a bit of a point of difference. It looks a bit different. So here, with this excess, I'm just going to trim here, because I can get another page out of that. See? We have another page. So I can trim along here, and I might just trim this one a little bit further down, like that. So here we have a second page if needed. I could use that for a different journal. I could use it for this one, but you want to salvage what you can, make it go further. So perfect, that's going to go there. All right, now this one, of course, whenever you have this overhang, you can definitely just fold it in, but this is really nice paper. I can use that for something else. I can use this for collage, for journaling, to tuck into a pocket. So we're going to leave that. And then I know I want to cut up here. I'm just going to rule it because it's not exactly flush on that red line. So I'm going to rule my own line to cut that. All right, moving on. So now I've just got some other coffee dyed papers. Let's start with this grid one. So I don't have many just plain full-size ones, so let's go ahead and do some of those again. They're my favorite types of paper because you're not limited in what you can do with it. If a page has a pocket on it, you're kind of limited in how you're going to use that page. You're going to obviously put something in the pocket, and then that's going to cover up whatever you put behind that thing that you put in the pocket. Whereas these pages, you just have a bit more freedom in terms of what you can add to it. You don't have to think, oh, what am I going to put in that pocket? No, you don't have to worry about that. So these are my favorite pages. You're not limited at all in what you can do. And I love grid paper because you can just use the lines to cut your paper. All right, so this one, again, I'm just going to fold this way because I want some full large size pages to really make the most of the sizing of the journal. And it just gives it some structure to have some full-size pages that intersperse with all the shorter or narrower pages. This paper has some beautiful blue and red lines that I've coffee dyed. Okay, now I've got two of these types of papers, just plain lines. One of them I'm going to fold this way. So this is a little tip. If I have two of the same type of paper, I just want to do something different with it when I include it in a journal. So it gives you that variety. So this one I'm going to fold this way for a narrow page. Now here's what we can do with this one. I'll show you. If I just trim off this, I can fold up this piece here like so to create a narrow page pocket. That's something you can do with any page where you have excess down the bottom, like that. Now this one, I just want to fold full size because we want a bunch of full size pages. And this time It will just give us that variety. And we will trim off the top. Or do I like having that bit of brown there? Just as a bit of interest, where it's coffee dyed a bit heavier or stronger. We'll cut that off there. Come in here. Beautiful. All right, I'm just going to do a page count to see how many pages we have. So we have, we'll do our ledgers first. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. All right, we've got plenty. I have a couple other pages here, but we're not going to use those. We've got way too many pages. Way too many pages. Because we've already got 8 here. I'm aiming for at most 25 pages, but if we get 20, that's good too. Between 20 to 25. So we've got enough. But yeah, I just wanted to show you different ways you can fold pages to make them interesting and get, the different variety of sizes and pockets and flaps and flips and all sorts of things. I'm just going to take it to my sewing machine, so I'll show you this too as best I can. So where are my pocket pages? So I'm just going to open this up and sew that pocket closed. So you can see there's my pocket here. Now I'm going to sew this one with the pocket on the outside. This one I'm going to leave. I kind of like this big long flap, and it's kind of going to be hard to put stuff in there anyway because it's so close to the spine. But this one, let's close this one up and turn this into a side pocket. So here you can see it becomes a long side pocket. Now this one I'm not going to sew. This is another thing you can do. Well, first of all, if you don't have a sewing machine, you don't need to sew these closed. What I like about leaving them open is if you have something large that you want to put in there, you don't have to fight with it. Let's see if I can find something large. So if I want to slip this into the journal, for example, I don't know if this will be a good example because it's quite large, but yes, okay, that fits. If I wanted to include that in my journal, I could slip that into a pocket here. If that was closed, I couldn't. So, I don't know, let's see if I can find something. Pretend this was a little bit wider. I can slip that in. And it's just easier to get in and out, to be honest, as well. So even if that was closed, you kind of have to, it's a bit of a tight fit. So with this, you can slide things in, slip things in, especially if you've got something like a letter, something bigger. This gives you a place to put it that's still interactive, but it can fit. So that's why sometimes I like leaving the pockets a bit open, so you can leave room to put bigger things in there, and it's just fun to slide things in and out rather than having to wedge it in sometimes. So leave one of them open. All right, so now we've got our pockets. They're all sewn. We've got our flaps and flip pages. All right, here we go. Now, in the next video, we will go ahead and arrange these pages and choose which ones make the final cut. So have fun folding your pages however you want to make them fun and interactive, to give your journal variety, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye guys. A big special thank you to my beautiful patrons supporting me in the month of August. I could not do this without you. I just thank you so much for believing in me, and I hope you love being a patron. If you would like to become one, you can find the link below down in the description box to my Patreon, and that is where you get access to all my extra videos, including the making journals series videos. Plus, if you're a Ruby patron or higher, you get access to every single one of my digital kits, which are available to be downloaded on my Patreon. And then going up the tiers, there are different perks, including mail sent to you. So have fun. Feel free to check all of that out.